Welcome to Innovation Pulse, your quick, no-nonsense update on the latest in AI. First, we will cover the latest news. NVIDIA is leading in MOE models. Google Workspace offers AI automation. Microsoft struggles in AI sales. And Anthropic eyes a major IPO against OpenAI's challenges. After this, we'll dive deep into Yaakov Lasker's insights on AI model accuracy and the financial race impacting the industry. NVIDIA has achieved a significant breakthrough in scaling mixture of experts, MOE, AI models, overcoming major industry constraints. Their GB200 NVL72 AI cluster boosts performance by 10 times on the Kimi K2 Thinking LLM, an open-source model with 32 billion activated parameters. This was made possible by a co-design approach using a 72-chip configuration with 30 TD-bar of fast shared memory, enhancing expert parallelism. NVIDIA's Dynamo framework further optimizes performance by assigning tasks to different GPUs to maximize efficiency. The NVFP4 format maintains accuracy while boosting performance. This advancement positions NVIDIA at the forefront of deploying computationally efficient MOE models across various environments, enhancing AI server capabilities. Google Workspace Studio now allows users to create AI agents for automating tasks without needing to code. These agents can handle complex workflows like prioritizing tasks, support triage, and content creation. Users can easily describe tasks in plain language, and the system will generate the necessary automation. Agents are integrated with Workspace apps, pulling relevant context from documents and emails for smarter responses. They can connect with third-party apps like Asana and Salesforce and can be customized using webhooks and app script. The platform supports sharing and scaling across organizations, using templates for common tasks. Admins can manage the studio's settings, including external sharing and webhook support, aligning with security standards. The rollout begins December 3, 2025, for rapid release domains, with scheduled release domains following in January 2026. Join us as we explore the challenges in AI adoption. Microsoft has announced ambitious plans for AI agents, but faced challenges in meeting sales targets. The company aimed to revolutionize business operations with AI agents capable of performing complex tasks autonomously. However, many sales teams missed quotas, prompting Microsoft to lower growth targets. Enterprises seem hesitant to pay premium prices, with some preferring alternatives like ChatGPT. Microsoft's AI tools, including those integrated into Microsoft 365, face issues with reliability, as current AI models are prone to errors. These AI agents, while advanced, still struggle with novel tasks outside their training, leading to costly mistakes. Despite these challenges, Microsoft continues to invest heavily in AI infrastructure, signaling a commitment to the technology's future. The focus remains on building capacity, even as enterprises show reluctance to adopt these AI tools fully. Anthropic, the AI startup behind the Claude chatbot, is reportedly in early discussions for one of the largest initial public offerings as soon as next year, according to the Financial Times. The company has engaged law firm Wilson Sonsini, Goodrich & Rosati, known for handling major tech IPOs. Led by CEO Dario Amodei, Anthropic is also pursuing private funding, potentially valuing the company over $300 billion, with significant commitments from Microsoft and NVIDIA. Discussions with investment banks about an IPO remain preliminary. This move could position Anthropic in competition with OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, which is also considering a public offering. An Anthropic spokesperson stated that no decisions have been made regarding the IPO timing. The startup continues to expand, planning a $50 billion AI infrastructure build-out and increasing its workforce, signaling strong investor interest in its potential public listing. OpenAI Chief Executive Officer Sam Altman declared a code red to enhance ChatGPT, postponing other projects like advertising and AI agents. This decision comes after Google's Gemini 3 outperformed ChatGPT in tests, gaining social media praise. Altman urged team shifts and daily calls to focus on improvements. This mirrors a 2022 event when Google responded similarly to ChatGPT's rise. Google's Gemini 3 now leads on the LM Arena leaderboard and has increased user numbers significantly. Not everyone sees OpenAI's urgency as necessary. Some suggest the company is overstretched. Unlike Google, OpenAI lacks the financial backing from advertising revenue and relies on fundraising. Despite challenges, OpenAI plans to release a new model soon, aiming to surpass Gemini 3. The competitive cycle in AI innovation continues, driven by financial stakes and technological advancements. Join us as we discover the rise of DeepSeek. DeepSeek, an AI company based in China, has launched two advanced AI models, V3.2 and V3.2 Special. The V3.2 Special model surpasses competitors like Gemini 3.0 Pro and GPT-5 High in reasoning benchmarks. Currently, V3.2 is accessible via app and web, while V3.2 Especial is available through API only. The earlier model, V3.2 Exp, launched in September, has also been noted for its high performance. Despite ChatGPT being blocked in China, DeepSeek continues to innovate, offering its models as open source. The V3.2, with 685 billion parameters, requires substantial hardware to operate. This development has challenged American AI firms, prompting them to release reasoning models for free. Furthermore, V3.2 Special achieved gold medals at the 2025 International Mathematical Olympiad and International Olympiad in Informatics, underscoring its advanced capabilities. Top Chinese tech firms are training their AI models overseas to access NVIDIA's chips, sidestepping US restrictions on advanced technology. The Financial Times reports that companies like Alibaba and ByteDance are utilizing Southeast Asian data centers for this purpose. This trend follows US measures to limit sales of NVIDIA's H20 chip. Chinese firms often use non-Chinese-owned data centers abroad, except for DeepSeek, which amassed NVIDIA chips prior to export bans and is training its model locally. DeepSeek collaborates with domestic chip makers, including Huawei, to develop the next generation of AI chips. Alibaba, ByteDance, DeepSeek, and Huawei have not commented on the situation. NVIDIA also declined to comment. This strategic move highlights how Chinese companies are navigating geopolitical challenges in the tech industry. Elon Musk has proposed a challenge for xAI's Grok 5, suggesting it compete against the world's best League of Legends team. This idea, which has gained interest from professional players and Riot Games, includes constraints like human-level reaction times for Grok. The esports community is buzzing, with opinions varying on Grok's chances against top human players. T1 and Riot Games have shown interest, indicating a potential landmark AI versus human event. In other news, Tesla has reached a milestone of 10 billion kilometers driven, using its Autopilot system. This aligns with Musk's vision in Master Plan, Part 2, for achieving regulatory approval, which he predicted would require extensive real-world data. Tesla's Autopilot aims to enhance safety, with its vast experience setting it apart in the self-driving field. Join us as we explore the frontier model's enhancements. Anthropic has unveiled Opus 4.5, enhancing coding performance and user experience, making it more competitive with OpenAI's models. Key improvements include better conversation memory, reducing abrupt endings by summarizing key points instead of cutting off discussions. This enhancement applies to all current Claude models and supports developers through context management. Opus 4.5 boasts an accuracy score of 80.9% in the SWE Bench Verified benchmark, outperforming OpenAI's GPT 5.1, Codex Max, and Google's Gemini 3 Pro. It excels in coding and tool use, but trails in visual reasoning. The model is also less vulnerable to prompt injection attacks. A significant advancement is its token efficiency, using substantially fewer tokens than previous models while maintaining or exceeding performance. With the new release, a developer platform includes an effort parameter for balancing efficacy and token usage. Additionally, Claude Code is now in desktop apps, and API pricing has been significantly reduced. And now, pivot our discussion towards the main AI topic. Welcome to Innovation Pulse. I'm Alex, and today I've got Yakov Lasker joining me, author, CTO, and someone who's been putting AI models through their paces in ways that actually matter. Yakov, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
So, I've got to start with this. You told me about asking ChatGPT, Claude, and Google's new Gemini 3, the same question about Liu Cixin's The Dark Forest. Specifically, why the author creates this massive plot problem with mobilization. ChatGPT gave you what? Pages of literary analysis?
Oh, it was beautiful. Lots of words about narrative structure, thematic elements, character development. Very impressive sounding. Completely missed the point.
And the actual answer?
Liu Cixin writes for Chinese readers under Chinese censorship. You can't show that total party mobilization leads to disaster without a redemptive ending. That's the answer. Everything else is just noise.
Wait, that's brilliant because Claude found it with help. Gemini found it on its own, but ChatGPT just gave you what sounded smart?
Exactly. And this isn't some edge case. I'm building a gaming PC for my son, right? ChatGPT says the component list looks great. Claude catches that the motherboard doesn't match the Project Zero case concept. Gemini adds that the memory is overpriced and pulls current market pricing.
Hold up. One model says, looks good, while the others are actually catching expensive mistakes.
Real money, real frustration. But here's what makes it worse. ChatGPT also fabricates solutions. I ask it about technical problems. It gives me confident answers with made-up APIs, hallucinated citations. It's not just unhelpful, it's actively dangerous for someone making decisions.
Okay, so this brings us to what just happened this week. Because while you're discovering ChatGPT has problems, OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman just declared an internal code red.
After 3 years of being the king,
Right? 3 years ago, Google declared code red because of ChatGPT. Now, the tables have completely flipped. Altman sent a memo saying they're pulling engineers off advertising, shopping features, health AI, everything, to focus on fixing ChatGPT. Why? Because Google's Gemini 3 just beat them on key benchmarks, and Anthropic's Claude is eating their lunch in enterprise.
and you know what the fascinating part is? The benchmarks don't even capture what I'm seeing. Gemini 3 scored 45% on this ARC AGI2 test. That's 3 times better than competitors. Huge leap. But what matters to me is simpler. Does it catch my errors, or does it validate my mistakes?
That's the thing, isn't it? All the infrastructure in the world, all the Microsoft integrations, 800 million weekly users, and the model underneath is giving people wrong answers.
Not just wrong, confidently wrong. There's a recent study. ChatGPT fabricated 1 in 5 academic citations. And get this, 64% of the fake citations included real DOIs that linked to completely unrelated papers. That's almost worse than making it all up because it looks legitimate.
Oh man, because you'd actually go check the paper and
Waste hours figuring out why this paper about marine biology is supposedly supporting your argument about AI ethics. Meanwhile, the model is optimized to be helpful and keep you engaged, not to be correct.
So here's what I want to understand. There's this narrative that model quality doesn't matter anymore, that it's all about infrastructure, integrations, having the best API ecosystem. But your experience suggests that's completely backwards.
It's a necessary versus sufficient condition problem. Yes, you need infrastructure to scale AI across an enterprise. But if the model hallucinates, all that beautiful infrastructure just helps you fail faster. You've got perfect data pipelines feeding garbage into your decision-making.
And this is where the economics get really interesting, because OpenAI is burning cash at a rate that's, I mean, it's unprecedented. They lost $5 billion in 2024, projected to lose $14 billion in 2025, $17 billion in 2026.
Wait, these are losses while making revenue?
Oh yeah, they're projected to hit $13 billion in revenue this year. But HSBC just put out analysis saying OpenAI won't be profitable by 2030 and faces a $207 billion funding shortfall. Their compute commitments hit $1.4 trillion by 2033.
Trillion with a T.
Trillion with a T. And here's where it gets weird. There's this whole circular financing thing happening. NVIDIA invests $100 billion in OpenAI. OpenAI uses that money to buy NVIDIA chips and Oracle compute. Oracle buys more NVIDIA hardware to serve OpenAI. The money just goes in a circle.
That sounds like
A bubble, right? Michael Burry, the guy who called the 2008 housing crisis, he's calling this out. Posted on Twitter. True end demand is ridiculously small. Almost all customers are funded by their dealers.
Okay, but devil's advocate. The dot-com bubble burst because companies had no revenue, no business model. OpenAI has real revenue, real users. ChatGPT is the fourth most visited website globally.
Fair point. But look at the math. They've committed to spending $300 billion with Oracle over 5 years. That's $60 billion a year. They're making $13 billion in revenue now. Even with aggressive growth projections, how does this work?
Unless the growth projections are fantasy, which brings us back to model quality. If you're losing to competitors on the actual product, if developers are switching to Claude because it works better, if enterprises are choosing Anthropic for reliability, then those revenue projections fall apart.
Anthropic hit $5 billion in revenue in just 8 months of 2024, started the year at $87 million. Their Claude Code tool hit $1 billion in revenue in 6 months.
And they're doing it by being better at the thing that matters, not hallucinating, catching errors, giving you answers you can actually use.
So when Altman declares code red and says Google's progress could create economic headwinds,
He's not just worried about benchmarks. He's worried the whole financial house of cards depends on OpenAI maintaining technical leadership, and that lead is evaporating.
this is the curse of being first, right? Google had time to polish Gemini 3, to integrate it properly, to make sure it actually works. They're not under the same pressure to raise the next funding round by proving they're still the best.
And they have actual profitability. When Gemini 3 launched, Google's market cap increased by more than the entire amount OpenAI has ever raised. They can afford to subsidize access, to build better models, to wait for the right moment.
Meanwhile, OpenAI is trying to convince investors to give them another $100 billion while burning $14 billion a year on a product that, based on your testing, is getting worse at the fundamental task of giving correct answers.
Look, I don't hate ChatGPT. I was a user for a long time. But somewhere along the way, they optimized for user satisfaction instead of correctness. The model tells you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. And for serious work, that's deadly.
Gemini's marketing literally said they're trading cliché and flattery for genuine insight, telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. That's a direct shot.
And it's true. The PC build example ChatGPT said, looks great. Claude said, your motherboard doesn't match the case philosophy. Gemini said, also, your memory is overpriced. Which one is actually helping me?
Okay, so let's talk about what this means. We've got 3 trends converging. OpenAI losing technical leadership, astronomical spending that may never pay off, and this whole circular financing structure. What breaks first?
I think the technical leadership is already broken. The code red admission confirms it. What happens next depends on whether they can ship something that actually leapfrogs Gemini 3 and Claude. They're working on a model codenamed Arlic, apparently.
Great name.
Right? But if that's just another incremental improvement, If it still has the hallucination problems, then the revenue projections start looking really questionable.
And if the revenue projections fall apart, the 500 billion valuation falls apart. The circular financing falls apart.
And suddenly everyone's holding very expensive chips with no one to sell capacity to, that's when you get a correction.
But this isn't necessarily bad for AI overall, right? Like, if OpenAI crashes, but Claude and Gemini keep improving,
Then we get better AI, maybe at more realistic valuations, maybe with companies that have to actually make money instead of just raising infinite funding rounds. I'd rather have 3 good models at sustainable businesses than one overhyped model propped up by circular financing.
there's something darkly funny about the whole situation. OpenAI pioneered this space, created the ChatGPT moment, and now they're fighting for survival because they forgot the most important thing.
The model has to actually work.
The model has to actually work. You can have all the infrastructure, all the brand recognition, all the Microsoft integration in the world. But if Claude catches errors that ChatGPT misses, if Gemini gives you better answers, if your model fabricates citations, none of that other stuff matters.
And this is why I'm skeptical of the infrastructure is everything narrative. It's cope. It's what you say when you're losing on product quality. Oh, well, we have better APIs. Great. Your API efficiently delivers wrong answers.
So, what should people actually do? If you're a developer, if you're a company trying to integrate AI, what's the move?
Test everything. Don't trust any model blindly. I run the same questions through ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini now. See where they agree, see where they differ. When it matters, I verify. And honestly, for technical work, for things where correctness matters, I'm leaning toward Claude and Gemini.
What about the bubble question? Should people be worried?
I'm a CTO, not a financial analyst, but I know what unsustainable looks like. When you're burning $14 billion a year, when your customers are mostly free users, when your financials only work if you maintain technical dominance that you just lost, that's a problem. Whether it pops in 2026 or 2027 or never, I don't know. But the fundamentals don't look good.
The comparison to .com is interesting because some of those companies survived and thrived. Amazon made it through. Google didn't exist yet, but came right after. The technology was real.
The valuations were fantasy. And maybe that's where we are now. The technology is real. These models are incredible tools. But a $500 billion valuation for a company losing billions with questionable revenue projections and fading technical advantage, that might be the fantasy part.
Last question. You're building a podcast, you're writing, you're managing teams, you're making technical decisions. How has this changed your workflow?
I'm more skeptical. I don't take any answer at face value. And I'm much more interested in which model gives me pushback, which one challenges my assumptions. The yes man AI is useless to me. I need the one that tells me when I'm wrong.
Even if it's less pleasant to use?
Especially then. My ego can handle it. My budget and my team's time cannot handle building things based on hallucinated solutions.
Yakov, this has been fascinating. Thanks for walking through all this.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
For everyone listening, next time an AI gives you an answer that sounds too good to be true, maybe it is. Test it, challenge it, and remember, the prettiest interface with the friendliest responses means nothing if the model underneath is making things up. I'm Alex, this is Innovation Pulse, and we'll catch you next time. We've explored the latest advancements in AI, from NVIDIA's breakthroughs and Google's new tools to OpenAI's competitive pressures and Anthropic's rising prominence. As the AI landscape evolves rapidly, staying informed is crucial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends and colleagues so they can also stay updated on the latest news and gain powerful insights. Stay tuned for more updates.